And action. Tis the season to make Christmas videos. La 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 la. Hi everybody, it's me JBR coming at you with a new Theater Thursday. As you know, every Thursday I make a movie review video. This time, as I said in the last video, I am going to be doing Christmas and winter related movies. But if you don't celebrate Christmas, don't be offended. But if you have good suggestions for if you celebrate Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, whether it's foods for my Tuesday videos or movies for these videos on Thursdays, please write it down in the comments, and that lets me know. That way I'm not offending anybody culturally or religiously. But but this video I'm going to be doing the very classic Home Alone. I'm only doing the first one, at least for this video. If you guys want to see my review on, the rest of the trilogy, write down in the comments, and then that lets me know you want to see more of this. But if you have not seen this video, or this movie, consider this your spoiler alert. Let me get that in frame. There it is in big red letters. Okay, accept it, take it in. Okay, because it is our Lord and Savior. No, I'm kidding. But Home Alone stars this little boy. His name is Kevin McAllister. This is going to be hard to get stuff in frame. I'm sorry, I'm recording with a different piece of software. So if things look different, that's why. But his name is Kevin McAllister. He's a little boy who lives in a rich neighborhood. He lives with his family, and his family are all in his house, and they're getting ready to go on vacation. I believe they go to Paris or France, and his whole family is going on vacation. It's obviously his closer family, his mom, his dad, his brothers, and his sisters, and then his extended family, where it's his aunts, his uncles, and his cousins. They're all gathering together to go on vacation. But the night before, they all get in sort of a fight because they all got pizza to just for the dinner for the night before, and Kevin's saying about, where's my slice of pizza, and his brother, being the jerk that he is, he ate it, and then Kevin shoves him, and then he makes a big mess and causes a big trouble, and because that's in a way to Kevin's family, that's what Kevin does. He causes messes, he causes problems, he causes an issue, but so he causes a mess, they spill the milk and the sodas, and pizza goes everywhere, and people get shoved into the wall, and, his uncle yells at him saying, "Look at what you did, you little jerk," and then his mom takes him upstairs to punish him, and then, he's like, "I don't want to hear or see you for the rest," she's like, "I don't want to see you for the rest of the night," and then Kevin's like, "I don't want to see the rest of your faces ever." And then she's like, "You don't really mean that. You'd be really upset if you woke up tomorrow and you didn't have a family." And then Kevin says, "No, I wouldn't." And then and then the mom says, "Oh, maybe if you wish it for it, it'll come true." And then they all go to bed. And then the mom sets the alarm for the plane for their alarm so they can catch the plane the next day. And what happens is they oversleep, and the alarm doesn't go off, so they oversleep and they almost miss their flight. So everybody's hustling and bustling, and people are trying to load up the car, and they're trying to make their flight, and they get to the airport and they make it just in time. But then the mom is like, "I feel like we're forgetting something," and then she's asking the husband, "Did you lock the doors? Did we close the garage door?" That type of thing, and then she can't shake this feeling of what they're forgetting. Now, is there something we could have left behind? Kevin. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They left poor Kevin up in the attic because they forgot, with all the hustle and bustle, that that they punished him and they left him up in the attic. That he was up there, and because of everything going crazy, they forgot he was up there. And then when Kevin wakes up, he looks around and where is everybody? And he's like, "Oh my God, I made my family disappear." And then he's worried for a good 2 seconds. But then after those 2 seconds, he's like, "I made my family disappear." He's so happy, and he does what a typical kid would do if you were left home alone. You know, he like eats nothing but sugar and junk food. He jumps on the bed. He makes a mess. You know, he like plays with his toys. Like he has a BB gun and he like shoots toys and stuff like that. And he tries to take stuff from his brother's room, and he destroys his brother's room, and stuff goes wrong. His brother has a pet tarantula, and it gets out. It's, you know, causes a mess. But you know, when his parents finally land down in Paris, they're like, okay, we got to call all these people, and they were like, we got to make sure Kevin's okay. And then everybody that they tried to get in contact with, whether it was family or their neighbors, they were all also away on vacation. So Kevin was literally the only one there, except for these two burglars who go by the Wet Bandits. They are, one is named Harry. He is like the leader. He is like the chief. He's the boss. He's kind of like, he's the smart one. He tells his partner what to do, you know, and obviously he listens. And that guy's name is Marv. Marv is, he's the not so smart one. He's the special flower in the garden. You know, he needs special take caring of, you know. But the reason why they're called the Wet Bandits is because Marv has like he calls it a hick, or like a trick to why they're called, you know, what their their staple, I should say, which is like, every house they rob, they leave the water running. So if you come home and your water is running, you'll know why. But, moving on, these two burglars are in the neighborhood, and they see Kevin's house, and they're like, oh, I want it, I want to steal from it, you know, whatever. And then obviously he sees these burglars walking around, and then Kevin gets afraid, you know. And then when the parents call the police to check on Kevin at his house, the policeman knocks on the door, and obviously Kevin doesn't answer because he thinks it's the burglars. So when the cop knocks on the door and Kevin doesn't answer, he thinks, oh, nobody's home. So they think that the parents are crazy and that they miscounted their kids, and that, you know, that was the end of the situation. But the parents know they're not crazy. Kevin is home alone, and they have to get back to him. But, you know, and the only other person in this neighborhood is their next door neighbor, which is like this older guy. He doesn't have a name, at least not to my knowledge. I mean, if you guys know what it is, write it down in the comments. I don't know what his name is, but he like shovels that, like, I forget what it's called, that like stuff that you put on ice so you don't slip. And like people, there's like rumors going around that he's like a murderer and that he's a bad man. It's not true. He's a very sweet old man, but you know, Kevin believes him because his older brothers told him about him, and that because he's a little boy, he just believes what he's told. One day, before the thieves have a chance to like rob their house, Kevin is actually hiding away from them, and he goes to church, and he bumps into that older guy, and at first he's afraid because of the rumors. But then the old man talks to him, he's like, oh, I know you've heard a lot of bad things about me, but they're not true. And then they both have like a heart-to-heart talk about family, about how no matter how angry you get, you still love them type of thing. And then the old man tells Kevin it's okay to get mad at your family, and then Kevin tells him the same thing because the old man tells him a story about how he got in a fight with his own son. But then Kevin tells him, oh, you should try to get back in contact with him. And then Kevin goes back to his house, and then he's like, this is my house, I have to protect it. So he protects the house with his BB gun, obviously. But then he has, like, you know, typical things you would find around the house, like, you know, like kids' toys, paint buckets, plywood, strings, you know, things that you could use for traps and triggers. And then he sets them in certain parts of the house, and then he plans to lead the burglars into the house. And then when they knock on the door, the back door, I should say, Kevin puts his BB gun through the doggy door, and he shoots, and it's and he shoots, and he hits Harry in the nuts. It's very, very funny. And then he tells Marv to go in after him, and then Marv puts his head through, and then he goes, hello, and then he shoots him, and he goes, the little jerk is armed! And it's the funniest mixture of scenes you could ever see in your life. Harry gets covered in feathers, and Marv steps on, like, ornaments, so, like, glass and things get in his feet, and it's super, super funny. It's, like, the most beautiful arrangement of comedy you could ever see in your life. But moving on. After that, Kevin runs away and he runs to the neighbor's house, and it's a neighbor that got robbed, and because the water was running, and then they catch him. But then before they could catch him, they the other neighbor that puts the white crisply stuff that you put on ice, he hits him in the back of the head with a shovel, and then the police come, and then everything is like somewhat happy again, and then they get arrested, and then they're taken away, and then Kevin goes back home. And then he's kind of sitting alone. He put out cookies and milk for Santa, and he's sitting alone, realizes that his family probably isn't coming back, that what he thought he wished for, it came true, that his family is really gone, or at least he thought it was. And then his mom, who back in Paris was like arranging all these events, like trying to get a plane to go back and everything, she actually hitched a ride on one of those like U-Haul trucks, and this U-Haul truck like hosted a band like that, you know, had this like large guy that like she became friends with, that he played the clarinet and things like that. She got on one of those U-Haul trucks, and then they drove her to her house, and then when Kevin is like sitting alone, he hears his mom, and then the mom and him hug, and then she's like, "Oh, Kevin, I'm so sorry," and then he smiles, and then he's like, "Where's everybody else?" And then she's like, "Oh, baby, they couldn't come." And then right when she says that, the rest of the family come in because they actually catched a later flight that she didn't want to take. So they all like, you know, group hug, and they say good job for like not burning down the house and stuff to Kevin, and then they all go their separate ways. And then when Kevin looks out the window, and then he sees the older neighbor, and then he's hugging his niece, and then he's like shaking hands with his son and his son's wife and stuff like that, and then the neighbor like waves to him, and then Kevin like smiles, and then you hear from upstairs the brother yell, "Kevin, what did you do to my room?" And then Kevin goes, and then Kevin runs away, and then that's the end of the movie, and it's so beautiful. It's, if I have to give it a rating, 1 out of 5, it definitely gets a 5 all around. It's a beautiful, beautiful movie. I watch it every time around the Christmas, and I definitely recommend it for you and your kids. But that's it for this video. If you have any, suggestions, write down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!